Good morning, my friends. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. I had a client run over. I really shouldn't try and squish people in. Sorry. One of those things. I want to welcome you to Wednesday. Isn't that crazy? We're already in the middle of the week. I know in North America we had Labor Day in Canada and the US, and I know many other countries have it too. So we had Monday off. Such a nice day. Today, though, I want to explore the full harvest moon. It's also known as the full corn moon, same type of moon. We're dealing with that harvest. So we've got this kind of abundant, working style full moon. Yet we're also heading into Mercury retrograde. So what I want to do, I know there's a lot happening over the next couple of days. I want to make sure that we get and tease things out. What is the full moon going to bring? What is Mercury retrograde going to bring? So today, as we are going to be starting to embrace that full moon energy, I'm going to be doing the full moon reading today. Tomorrow, I will do a live reading on Mercury retrograde. And then you get me live again on Friday, where we're looking at the week ahead. It's crazy how many times I'm live this week. Okay, for this reading, I pulled out a deck I don't use a lot, just because of the colors. They're kind of grayed and muted. They give off the fall vibe. This is called what is this called? No, this is the Dark Wood Tarot. And then I am going to pair it with the Sacred Earth Oracle. Just a nice grounding that I know we're going to need. And this is going to give us some of that mystery that we're dealing with. So let's get into the full harvest moon. What can my friends expect from the full harvest moon? Now, like I said, this can be called the corn moon. I prefer harvest moon, just because not everybody eats corn or likes corn. And it's not just corn that's going to be ending off this weekend. There's a lot of things that need to be harvested right now. There it is. Nope. Another one. Okay. Come on. All right. So the one that hit the floor, the one that was very excited to get out, the Four of Pentacles. Like I said, that stability, that groundedness, we're going to need it. We're going to need to bring things out. We're going to need to make sure that we have all our tools, everything in order to stay grounded, to stay in our space, because these energies are going to be so easy to topple us, and that's not going to be a fun thing. And let's be honest, the more we're able to stay in control of us, the better we're going to feel, the stronger we're going to feel. Additionally, we need to make sure that we don't disconnect ourselves. This is the one that usually has the man sitting on a bench, and he's got pentacles under his feet. He's got a pentacle here, and then one on the top of his head. So he's disconnected from Gaia. He is blocking and not working with his inner three core chakras. So his heart, his solar plexus, and his sacral. So he's kind of disconnecting himself. He's destabilizing himself. And of course, that disconnection from above. We want to make sure that we are very mindful of where we are connected. Just one sec. There. A little bit more light. Where we're connected and where we're not. The stability is a must. The connection is essential. Important guy. The King of Swords. Now, not only is the stability important, what does the stability bring us? Well, it empowers us. There we go. It empowers us to be able to use our head. Use all our tools, all our abilities. When we use our head, we're able to process. We're able to problem solve. We're able to create. Where when we're disconnected or we're reacting, so we're in that reactive mind, we're not thinking. We're letting our ego just throw up and vomit all over everything. So that control, we've very much got it in the king, that stability, that groundedness. 2 essential keys to support us in embracing the full moon and embracing this weekend. Because Mercury retrograde, yes, it does come in on Friday. However, we can start to feel this energy, this full moon energy. Well, sorry, the Mercury retrograde comes in on Friday. We can start to feel this in on Thursday. So we want to have that stability as we step in to the weekend. Oh yeah. Bring on that passion. The Lovers. The 6th card in the major arcana. Now, passion, absolutely. We want that passion sense. We want that zhuzh. So for my friends who do have a partner or are connected in with someone, this is a fantastic time to spend a little bit of extra time to get some very much grounding and stability in that passion sense. For my friends, well, across the board, we can instill that passion by containing and creating in our lives. We want that passion to fulfill us. So bringing that passion in our creative endeavors, in our everyday life. Not only will that help us attract that soulmate or twin flame, but it will also enrich our current relationships. So the full moon is saying once we're stable, once we're using our head, that's when we can add in that extra layer of fulfillment and passion. And bring it into our everyday. So the Lovers is a major arcana, so it's a major event, major energy. The suits, so cups, swords, pentacles, wands, that's the last one I was missing. They're the minor arcana. They're the everyday aspect. The 2 of Cups is the everyday aspect of the Lovers. This is your everyday lovers. This is that connection, that duality, that balance. This talks about bringing in that passion into our present, into our everyday, but it also talks about that balance within ourselves with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Because it doesn't matter what gender we identify with, we have both within us. We need to make sure that that too has that balance and that regulation, because we can become destabilized quite quickly with everything in play. So keeping that in mind, making sure that we are aware of self and also aware of others, because even our close friends, our partners, our family, our colleagues, the pizza guy can throw us off if their energies are very dominant and low vibrational. So being aware of that. We're not always the ones that are throwing the energies around. We do have to be mindful of how we're processing and dealing with that energy. The Knight of Swords. Of course, this is the King of Swords' son, and it talks about that movement, using your head to go forward. And that's going to be an important aspect. We want to go forward. However, the Knight of Swords, he's the one that's usually charging headlong into the storm. He's really not thought things through. We do need that very stable king thinking it through, and yet that very, adolescent, no fear energy to push forward. We want to be slow and steady rather than reckless and free. So over the next 5 days, it is about checking in with you, moving you forward through knowledge and passion. Because that passion, that's a big part, guys. That's a fun part. Running out of room on that little, okay, that's an important card. Running out of room on my little block there. So what further knowledge and wisdom can we share with my friends so that they can get the most out of the full harvest moon? Oh my goodness, you guys keep throwing cards on the floor. It's fun. I do ask if they keep it on the table, but sometimes they just get so excited and the cards go flying. So another piece we should point out, we've got two very dominant men here. The lunar energy is feminine, so don't be afraid to call in a bit more of that masculine to bring in that balance that we were talking about, because that balance within helps to create that stability around you. So the card that flipped up and, well, flipped on the floor was the Five of Pentacles. This full moon, and I won't even lie, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to feel really kind of discombobulated, disconnected, and unsure. That is part of the Mercury retrograde. That is part of our fears around Mercury retrograde. We hate being in retrograde. We hate the communication disruption. We hate the pain and heartache that it causes. Well, we are going to feel that because Mercury goes into retrograde just as the full moon comes in place. We're also into Virgo, which is that attention to detail and is ruled by Mercury. So it's going to wobble a bit. So there's some fear. We will have that challenge. Well, like any good challenge accepted. Part of that balance, part of that movement forward is to be connecting in to our physical support team and our spiritual support team. If you don't ask for the help, if you don't reach out, you're going to feel disconnected. And it's going to compound because the energies and your ego are going to say, well, of course you're not worthy. Why would they? Rather, they're caught up in their own world. If you don't put those first steps forward, you won't get that connection. So making sure that you're even connecting in, texting people. How are you doing? Do you want to go for coffee? Taking that time. That too will enrich that passion, that perseverance. It will fill you and fuel you to move forward. The Two of Wands. Really, again, we're connecting into that balance. It's the second two we have. When you have those multiple twos, the angels are telling you to balance things out, to make some decisions in your greatest interest. So that's exactly what we're going to need to do. We are going to have to look at things. We're going to have to reflect. I know the dreaded R word. However, reflect into self. Where are we at? What is going on? And what's more, is it going to fuel me and fill me, or is it going to bring me down? Checking in and then making decisions for your greater good that are going to be positive, that are going to fuel you, that are going to support you in moving forward rather than causing more stumbles. Because we've got enough things to stumble over right now. Oh yeah. The Queen of Wands. This is the sassiest queen ever. She is all that and a bag of chips. This is the queen that is owning her sexuality. She's owning that passion. That's what we need to do. No matter what gender we identify with, we need that, sass. We need to understand what brings us that passion, what brings us that fulfillment, that happiness, and then start to pursue it. What is it that we're going to need to do? We want that passion. We're going to use our head to get it. We're not just going to be blindly raging. What we want to do is say, okay, so this is what I enjoy. This is what brings me happiness. I feel fulfilled when, and this is how I'm going to get it. Staying in our head helps us to create what it is we need, especially during the full harvest moon that talks about that abundance. What it is we've started to work on and what it is we need to continue to work on. The Five of Swords. Of course, that conflict is going to be there. People, whether they know about Mercury retrograde or not, are going to be antagonistic. They're going to be reflecting the fears, the energies that we're projecting back at us. You combine that with that very dominant full moon energy, plus the Mercury retrograde energy, there's going to be conflict. We know that. Staying in our head helps us to see that conflict, helps to minimize it and start to pull it apart a bit. Now, we do have double fives, the swords and the pentacles. And angel messages with the multiple 5, the angels are telling you something positive is coming your way to keep working, to keep going. So that's going to be helpful. Yes, it's going to be a challenge. However, like every challenge, once accepted, when you start to use your abilities, your skills, your talents, your passions to your advantage, you start to use all your abilities, well, you start to succeed. Especially when we're staying in that frontal cortex, where we're able to problem solve, we're able to create solutions, we're able to connect into our intuition. Same space. So using our head to help push us forward. Yes, yes, yes. The Queen of Cups just said creativity and intuition are going to be helpful. Well, there she is, one of the most creative cards in the deck. In the original card, she has this very ornate cup. It's very beautiful with lots of thingies going all over. Well, if you look at the entire suit, she's the only one not holding just a gold cup. She has that creativity. And she's the second most intuitive card in the deck. So that intuition, well, and creativity work hand in hand here. Also, one of the ways you can connect into that intuition is through creativity. Hence why she is the second most intuitive card in the deck next to the High Priestess. So using your time wisely. Over the next 5 days, I would encourage you to schedule in time for creativity. Schedule in time for people where we're looking at that passion base, or if it's more creativity that you need, well, schedule in more time for that passion and that creativity. Yes, we want to be very Vulcan about this, guys. We've got the King of Swords. So the more we're using our head, the more we're in that kind of schedule and routine energy, the more we're going to get out of the full moon. Or we can play dead. The 10 of Swords. The choice is ours. We know that. We have the 2 of Wands there. We know that that choice is ours. Yes, we're carrying a lot. Yes, there is a lot that we've dealt with in this lifetime, in past lifetimes, that we're carrying from our family line. However, the 10 of Swords in the original card, if you look at it, there's a guy who is impaled. Yes, there is no blood. This is all emotional, psychological stuff. That's spiritual break rather than a physical. Yes, it does transcend into the physical arena. However, it's not like they've cut themselves. However, in the background, you can see it's very dark at the top, and then you can see that there's a ribbon of light. The sun is starting to rise. It is our choice. We can get up. We can embrace some of these passions, this creativity, this wonder that the day brings. We've done it before. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it's a challenge. However, if things were always handed to us, we wouldn't have the fulfillment or the connection that we do get when we succeed and achieve things. The full moon is saying, yes, we have the ability to achieve things. However, we have to work for it. Now, I did forget to mention we do have the double queens. So we've got the Queen of Wands and the Cups. They're the 13th card in the Minor Arcana. When you have double 13s, the angels are encouraging you to quiet your mind and listen to your intuition, which is very much going to fill that passion, fill you with the understanding and the aha that you need. Don't ever minimize those, oh, well, this will work. And you're like, how did I think of that? That insight that just pops into our head, or that feeling that if you did this, you will succeed. Those are two of our clairs that we never shut down. Clairordinance, which is the clear thinking, and clairsentience, which is a clear feeling. Those can help guide us. They can also help us strengthen the other clairs within ourselves, within our system, like our clairvoyance and our clairaudience, clear seeing and clear hearing. So the full moon does offer us many opportunities, but it's really starting to stabilize us so that we are strong during our Mercury retrograde challenges, because Virgo is not going to do well with the flux that we're looking at. All right, what further supports and guidance will help my friends embrace the full moon and get the most out of the full harvest moon? Perspective. We really need to keep things in perspective. Our ego will blow things out of proportion. This is what our ego does. To scare us, to keep us very stuck in our little box, which only brings more heartache and more pain. Like I said, we can lay down and play dead, or we can choose to start to push ourselves forward. Keeping things in perspective, using that Virgo energy of attention to detail, and being present in the here and now will help us, help you understand where you're at, what you're feeling, and what tools and supports you're going to need to dump the gunk and embrace that positive, high vibrational. Now, if you want some support in dumping the gunk, I have a lot of meditations and healings on my channel that you can access. Now, if you're new here, welcome. I give you the guidance and support here. All my meditations, all my healings are a guided experience so that you can get the most out of it. It'll also bring in other energies to help you. Helping to degunk self, I actually have 2 meditations in my Just You and Me playlist, where it's called Getting Unstuck and then Getting Unstuck Part 2. I know, very creative titles. However, it can help you degunk, especially when we don't want to get into that gunk too much. If we're feeling a lot of pain, I do have a meditation I did with Archangel Metatron, where that's what we did. We dumped the pain. So there are a lot of tools there. Another one that can be very helpful, especially over the next 3-ish weeks, is going to be meditation I did with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. It's a cord cutting meditation I did, helping to cut those cords from situation, events, and people to help us restore our energies. So keeping things in perspective so we can use those tools. You have to be proactive to say, okay, I want to use this tool. I'm going to give myself a half an hour to do this meditation, to degunk, so that I am not bogged down, that I am more that knight. I can build myself up. Friction. It's not going to be easy. However, like I said, when we're challenged, when we have to work at it, sometimes we learn the most. We can rely on our abilities, our skills, our problem solving, our creativity. We are very diverse and very creative souls. It's using those tools, using our abilities to our advantage. And yeah, there are times that we are challenged. And this is going to be one of them. My weekly reading over the last couple of weeks has really highlighted how we're challenged right now and we're struggling. And that's okay. We can degunk, get rid of some of that stuff using our supports to our advantage. If we're really struggling with lots of heavy, something like this is labradorite, can help. It can help with that trauma. It can help protect, and it can help degunk us a bit. If we are struggling with staying in present and staying grounded, something like this is tiger iron, amazing at that grounding. If we're struggling with clarity, I would suggest something like an amethyst smoky quartz. So you may have to use 2 crystals at once. So amethyst is the purple that is like everywhere and easy peasy to find. Smoky quartz, kind of like gray quartz. Super easy to find and use. Keeping it close at hand, whether it be on a bracelet or a pendant or in your pocket. Because it needs to be close to you, I would recommend the polished crystals because they are smooth. The raw crystals, they're pokey, right? And that jagged, rough can start to pinch on skin. So if you happen to be near a metaphysical shop or somewhere that sells crystal bracelets, absolutely. They're fun and easy to use, really readily available right now. Or crystals, just make sure that you're cleansing them and preparing them correctly. I do have a Crystal 101 that talks about that, so it can help you out. Yes, most important, rediscovery. Part of the abundance that we're going to be able to harvest, should we choose, is understanding of self, abilities, and connecting into that soul song, that heart song. It's going to take us persevering, us taking those steps forward, checking into where we're at, checking into what would support us. And most important, being honest with self. The more honest we are, we've got that sort of truth, the more we're going to get done. Time. Yes. Giving you time for you. It's so easy to get overwhelmed by expectations, demands, burdens, our friends and families, our circle of, intimate people. We need to make sure that we are scheduling time for self, building us up so that we are more able to deal with the challenges that we're going to be faced with. The stronger we are, the easier it is to overcome those burdens. You're not going to feel so disempowered and disabled to do what it is you want to do, what you need to do. So the full harvest moon is giving you some opportunity to strengthen that abundance of awareness of self. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that this little reading supported you in understanding what the full harvest moon is going to offer you. Now, like I said, tomorrow I will be live talking about Mercury retrograde. Dun, dun, dun. I know. We dread it, yet we are now 3 of 4. We're ending the year off on Mercury retrograde as well. Deep breath, we got it. Then, like I said, on Friday, I will be live. And we'll be exploring the following week. Now, if you did like this reading, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stay connected in with the guidance, the support, the teachings that I offer, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, because there's lots coming forward. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And until tomorrow, my friends,